Hello and welcome to Unmasters of Magic. Today, as I don't think you'll guess, we're having a mystery box. We're going to open the mystery boosters and see if we can win big. There's some gross value cards in these things, and I'm hoping to keep this trend going. So let's see how we can do. If we do really well in this one, we'll pick up a second one and release that tomorrow. All right. Drum roll, please. Now, the value in these packs are higher than normal because we went through the commons and there's a ton worth a buck. The uncommons, twice as many worth a buck. And the rares are almost mostly worth the pack price. So you're going to get your money's worth on a $5 pack. I mean, it's 24 packs, 150 bucks. So more than normal, but that still works out to pretty good value on these. All right, Laboratory Maniac, I think that's about $3. Impulse. Violent Ultimatum, that's a couple bucks there. Serendipity, a couple bucks there. I still, for anybody old enough like me who played the original, this was one of the first error cards. It was a green border card for a blue spell. And foil, Zur's Weirding for a foil. No complaining there. That's a card everybody wants to see played. Just everybody at all. Celestial Fair. I love playing that card. I've noticed the printing on these. The cards slide a little more than normal. They're kind of reminiscent of some of the. They have different printers, I think. I don't know. And I think this is one of the printers that's worked a couple of the sets that have had the same issue. Teamer Battle Rage, I think that's a buck. Squirrel Wrangler, that's a fun card. Living Death. And a foil Balefire Liege, that's sweet. I think it's only worth about $5. We'll show it up on the screen here, but still. Not going to complain about that. Oh man, I got that card. Shatter Spree, I think that's worth a buck or two. Death by Dragons, it's not, but it's a lot of fun in EDH for that one person you don't like. Each other player other than one player. I hate you the most, you don't get one. Take the Horizons, good little buff there. Really deep into these and still pulling commons. Yuriko, Tiger's Shadow. It's worth a couple bucks there. Ooh, foil. Ismaru, Hound of Konda. People were making early Voltron decks out of that one because they could get some really early commander damage out. Never been a huge fan of it myself, but there's not a lot of one casting cost legends, and it's a 2/2 to go with it. My ex-wife's card, Fiery Temper. Luckily, she's not watching this. Oh, Cold Snap. I think that's worth $3 or $4 there. But of course, we washed that down with an Eater of Days because nobody wants that card. I tried to play that in a booster draft once thinking, okay, it's a 9/8 flying trample. I lost every time. Courser Crufix, nothing wrong with that. Little foil there. They can't all be rare foils, I guess. Imperious Perfect, I think it's about $1.50. Tower Gargoyle. Alloy Mirror. Ethros, God of Passage. I think that's a $20 card if I'm not mistaken. Mana Crypt! I can't use bad words here, but I almost let one slip. That's, what, I think 130 American, almost 200 Canadian. That is, yes. I owned this card back when it came out of the book. My old roommate stole it, but I'm going to find myself something to put that on because There, I gotta have a common around here somewhere. Let us put that away for safekeeping. Nice. We have a victory. That paid for the box right there. The whole box in that one card. I guess we're gonna have to go through and pick up that second box and open it for you guys next. You guys are good luck for me today. Dragon Whelp. Old classic. Consulate Dreadnought. It's open. It's a 7-11. It's good for Slurpees. Perforos, God of the Forge. Another $20 card there. No complaints. Coveted Jewel. Don't know that one. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Tap. Add a mana of any color. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls attacks you and aren't blocked, that creature draws 3 cards and gains control of Coveted Jewel. Not sure I like that. Spellweaver Volute for foil. Enchantment Aura. Enchant instant card in the graveyard. That's something I've never seen before. When you play a sorcery spell, copy the enchanted instant card. You may play the copy without paying its mana cost. If you do, remove the enchanted card from the game and attach Spellweaver Volute to another instant card of graveyard. Wow. I'm going to have to look into using that card. That's interesting. You need to have a deck with lots of sorceries and lots of instants, but that's interesting. Feldar Umber, I think that's a buck. Lotus Petal, I think it's like a $10 card. Animar Soul of Elements, I think that's a good solid 20 bucks there. And I've been meaning to make a commander deck out of that one. There's a lot of good ways of using that guy. And a foil Triskelion. Nothing to sneeze at for that either. A lot of infinite combos with him. He's so shiny. So shiny. Nature's Lore, I think that's a buck. Harrow, another solid card. Etched Oracle, very playable. And no, Contagion Clasp with about a buck. Thalia's Lancers, a couple dollars there, nothing great. That's weird. That was only a 1 rare pack. Kolrath Knight. I guess I'm just getting spoiled on that, huh? Dismantling Blow. Or Stab Runes, Die Young. There are so many cards in this set. There's like hundreds of commons. Good for... I actually have a deck for that. I'll put that aside, remember it. Archangel. Remember when this was one of the biggest flyers you could get, and even though it was 7 mana, people would play it. Sudden Demise. Good in EDH because there's always somebody with a color and you can usually avoid wiping out your own stuff. 1 or 2-sided board wipe. Celestial Kirin. As you're all watchers of this channel, you all know that I have a Celestial Kirin deck for my New Year's deck, and I can now replace the commander with the foil one. So it looks all fancy. Keep going. It's only worth about a buck, but at least I have a use for it. Oh, Basilica. Glad they reprinted these cards. They're good in EDH. Crystal Shard, I think that's worth $2 or $3. Oh, we got a Planeswalker. Doretic Scrap Savant. Oh, good for EDH mostly because it can be a commander. No, it's only worth about $5, but nothing to be complaining about there. It's always good when you pull a Planeswalker. Fungasaur. I always loved the premise of this card. Whenever it's dealt damage, put a +1 counter on it. I've only ever really managed to make it work in one deck, though. My Pestilence deck, which my friends love. They just loved playing against that deck. My friend's off to the side here watching, and he's nodding very, very a lot. Soul Warden, I think that's worth a buck or $2. Desperate Ravings, also known as What My Friends Do. Rancor, it's a buck there. A very playable card. Engineered Might. Draco. 16 casting cost, not a lot of 16s. And the Pain Artist. Neither of those are worth anything, but it's a fun card to play. And foil is Boundless Realms. I know a lot of people hate on this card because it's 7 mana, but it unloads your deck. It literally just gets all the lands out of your deck. And which means you're not going to be drawing a ton later. I mean, if there's a lot of Armageddons in your meta, don't play it. But it basically gets rid of half the non-land cards in your deck. Because you're going to, by the time you can cast it, say you have 7 lands in play, which I mean, mana rocks, yeah, but you're also not always going to have it on turn 7, so whatever. But it's 7 less land in your deck right there. Meditation Puzzle, Weekly Reflections. I'm fascinated by that card. Price of Progress. I know that's a buck or two. Cultivate, that's at least a buck. A staple. Every green EDH deck should have that card. Spy Kit, never seen that one before. Equipped creature has +1/+1 on all names of non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. I have to give that to Dave. He's got the My Little Pony combo deck, which allows him to use this as a My Little Pony alternate source. I'll have to give him that. Phantasmal Dragon, yay. Sword of the Animist, I think it's like $8 or $10 there. And another one, great for colors that can't ramp. Anything that's a creature-centric deck, or at least has a fair amount of creatures you can attack with, that like mono white or mono red, something that doesn't search for lands, fantastic for that. I'm not familiar with this guy either. He's the rare one. Target opponent discards a card, and if he has no cards in hand, flip him. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player loses a 1 life for each card fewer than 3 in his hand. Not my style. I'm not much of a hand destruction guy. But if you're playing a hand destruction deck, pretty good. Still be pretty annoying for your opponent. Oh, okay. One little note on that. Target opponent discards a card. It doesn't say, not 99% of the ones that say this cannot be played as an instant, which means if the guy's you can get him right after his draw phase, so just keep that in mind. If you hate your friends, one of the, Fogbank, love that card. Great blocker. Phyrexian Rager. Curse of the Nightly Hunt. Sylvan Scrying's got to be worth a buck or so. Mask of Memory, I think it was worth a buck or two. Oh, and we pulled another Planeswalker. Nissa Voices Zendikar. I'm not going to complain about drawing her. I don't actually have that one. It's got banned, I believe, in some formats because of the 3 casting cost. It went pretty mutant. And Glittering Wish. Foil. Choose a multicolored card you own from outside the game. Reveal that card and put it into your hand. Remove this from the game. Well, you guys all know we play EDH here for the most part. And there are no sideboards, so I mean, in casual plays, you're probably gonna be allowed to play it, but it depends on your meta if you're allowed to even use that card in it. But it's interesting. No idea what it's worth, but it's interesting. Predict. I predict this is going to have a good card in this pack. That is my prediction. Like and subscribe if you want me to stop using the dad jokes. I'll still use the dad jokes, but just like and subscribe. Phantom Centaur, yuck. Anime 2, Augury. Exile the top 8 cards of your library. I think it's only like a buck or two, but hey. And a foil, Maru Nar. All rats have fear. Sacrifice a rat, put X rats. Pretty much one of only, I think, 2 rat commanders. Although I'm not sure how good a EDH deck we can make out of rats. But I got a foil one, so maybe I'll force myself to make a rat deck now. See if I can pull that off. If I have enough of those rat colonies, I can maybe make it work. I don't think I do, though. I know I pulled one on my last box opening, so we'll see how many I can track down. Crumbling Necropolis. It's a couple bucks there. Sadistic Hypnotist. That's, I think it was $2. Steam Flogger Boss. Other riggers you control get +1/+0 and have haste. Rigger you control would assemble a contraption. Oh, that's... Wow. That's a... Okay. That's not silver bordered, but that's an unglued card. I don't know how that works. If a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, assembles 2 contraptions. That would work if this thing... I mean, I guess if you have 4 of them and you could 4 of them in your deck and just run through them. But unless I miss some cards while cycling through the card list, I don't know how to make that legal. Funny. And Sasuke, son of Shizero. I speak good. Again, we talked about it earlier, how I have a friend who's got, we play Pauper with uncommon and common cards. And he's got this as his commander in his deck. So I'm going to give this to him so he can bling up his deck a little. Yeah, I can't believe I'm putting that into one of my wrappers. Into a sleeve. Isolation Zone. Ooh. Power and toughness. Power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Spells your opponents cast the targeter are 2 more. Interesting. Enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Haven't played a lot with Monarch, since there's only the one set that does it, although now we have more options for it. Faithless Looting. I gotta double check if that's been banned in some formats. I'm pretty sure it's legal in EDH at least. It's gotta be $1 or $2. Any card that gets banned usually is worth something. Dawn's Reflection. Great mana ramp. Gilt Leaf Plant Palace, great in elf decks. And Beacon of Immortality. Sundial the Infinite. I really want to make this card work into something. This is now my 4th of them. And I still haven't really figured out how to make it work. I know there's ways of abusing it, I just haven't got it. Good in a first strike deck. That's the only thing I've ever tried and successfully got it into. I'm not a fan of spiders. Nobody should play spiders in their deck. Nope. 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 Arachnophobia here. Target player gains 7 lives and draw 2 cards. 6 mana though. The Green Monument. Avalanche Riders. I think that's worth $2. Comes into play, destroy target land. Everybody loves land destruction. Reality Scramble. Put target permanent you own on the bottom of your library. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card that shares a card type with the permanent. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order with Retrace. That looks abusable. And a Reaper King foil, which is funny because I just pulled one of these out of my the first layer. I got the chromatic layer. So another shiny rare. 1/3 down. Good card. Blood Artist. I think it's like a $3 or $4 card there. Sure, it'll be up on the screen how much it's actually worth because my editors actually got the internet in front of them to check. Instant. Natural Connection. Assembled Legion. I have a deck with that. Need to work on the mana on that one. Black Market. Okay, this card's pretty awesome. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 1 black mana to your mana pool for each charge counter on Black Market. In a sacrifice deck and anything that just needs ramp, you will get a ludicrous amount of mana out of this card. I do believe this is going into my Crick Son of Yawgmoth deck, which I'm sure my friends are going to grow to hate. Your Tiller Nephilim. One of the cards that has no business not being a legend. No, not a legend. Should be, but isn't. Whenever it attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to play tapped and attacking. If you protect it, you'll get a lot of raised deads out of it. Which is funny because it's not green. See what I seen with slime? Oh, memory lapse. That's worth a couple bucks. I'll be honest, guys. I never got the appeal of this one. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, put on top of its owner's library instead of the player's graveyard. You're gonna see it again. I mean, I guess as your 6th best. I mean, it's a 2 casting cost counter spell. Fair enough. It gets anything. Fair enough. It stops anything that is a response, but I'd rather. I don't know. Maybe I just don't play enough counter spells to get that far into the list. Rampant Growth. There's a solid card there. Mind Stone, a couple bucks there, and a staple should be in almost every single EDH deck. It's a two mana that ramps, and it's got use late game. It's gold. Rock you like a hurricane. Bulk rare there. Oh, Kolgram's Command. That's got to be worth. I think it's what 15, 16 bucks. Turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Target player discards a card. Destroy target artifact. Deals 2 damage to target creature player. And Knowledge Pool, another card I've never managed to make really work. Imprint. When it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top 3 cards of his or library. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it. If the player does, he or she may cast another non-land card exiled with Knowledge Pool without paying its mana cost. Okay, I'm actually going to make this into a deck. I am. I'm going to make it into a deck. I'm going to make a deck that does nothing but search that card out, play it, and have just absolute garbage in the deck. My friends always complain I have the better cards than them. Well, not this time, folks. I'll never make that deck. I just said I would, but I'd probably never get around to it. I have like 40 decks on the go, at least. Stop nodding over there. Go for the throat. It's bucks or so. Tribe Elder, another awesome green card worth a couple bucks. Pot, we got a Priest of Titania. Wow, I think that's about $5 Canadian. Oh, Short Sword, there's a great card. There's a great card. Over there. Not Spine Dragon. Comes into play, discard your hand, and draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. Interesting. Guess we were doing a ton of damage going a turn. Drana Blood Chief. That's actually, a lot of people say it's overpriced, but man, will you remove a lot of stuff. It gets rid of indestructible stuff. You will kill a lot of stuff. It's going to draw some hate. And what's this foil? Rune Tail Kitsune Ascendant. This card is fantastic in any of the EDH decks, except for with the way we play it. We've made a house rule where if you have 30 more life, doesn't mean 30 life, it means 10 more than starting, because there's so many broken cards that you just play it and it triggers when it's not designed to. And we've kind of made that a house rule, because Feldakar allows you to win the game just by casting it. Clear the mind. Think good thoughts. Hey, for those of you who know, Prodigal Sorcerer is called Tim. I'm called Tim. But the problem is people keep tapping me to do stuff. Great enchantment removal there with the 3/4 body. Bloodbraid Elf. Cascade was so broken, so broken. Crenellated Wall. Revel in Riches. Never managed to get that card to work great either. Morrow. I'm not even going to talk about that one. I think it was about a week back in when it was first printed. This is a reprint of the 8th edition card. I think it was originally printed. Oh, I can't even remember what set that was from. But for about a week there, it was considered a good card. You can draw enough cards to make them big, but it did not last. Just did not hold up. Curse of Opulence. That's worth a couple bucks. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a colorless artifact creature or artifact token named Gold. It has sacrifice it. Okay, whenever enchanted player is attacked, you create. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Nothing wrong with that. Go that way. I want gold. You get gold too. Death Reap Ritual. This card is so good in EDH. My editor is going to be handed it right now so we can put it into his deck. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, you may draw a card. It doesn't have to be your creature. It doesn't have to be an untoken creature. You may draw a card. This is such good card draw outside of the color of blue. Just so good. Palladiumer, that's a buck. So, look at that. Metamorphose. Card I am not a fan of. I have about a dozen of them. I think I gave them away because I didn't realize they were any good. But it's worth about $8 American, $9 American. And we pulled a Planeswalker to follow that up. Gideon Jura. I think it's one of the lower end ones, but during target opponent's next turn, creatures that player controls attack. Destroy target tapped creature. Yeah, that's the original one with an alternate art. And not going to complain, though. And Spell Tithe Enforcer. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, that player sacrifices a permanent unless he or she pays 1. Oh, that's... I'm going to have to play that in EDH and have less friends. Maru came from Mirage. I knew it'd come to me at some point. All right. Siegecraft. By the way, 2 packs left. Let's see if we can finish strong. Wow, that's a reprint of a set that just came out. I didn't know they were going that recent. Oh, that's another one, I guess. Huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your deck down. Elvish Visionary, another good card. Meteorite. Darksteel Garrison. I got a friend who's abused the crap out of this card, but it's pretty limited in its use. Star of Extinction. A card that people say is terrible, but for 7 mana, it's gonna kill everything, right? And you get to destroy an opponent's land. It's an expensive sweeper, but it's gonna sweep. Myojin of Life's Web. I'd never actually owned this Myojin. I've owned the black one, the blue one, and the green one, but never the green, or sorry, not the green one. Comes to play with a divinity counter on it. If you played it from your hand, is indestructible as long as it has divinity counter on it. Remove a divinity counter from it. Put any number of creature cards from your hand into play. Oh yeah, there's some pretty good abuses of that card, especially considering you can proliferate the token and it stays indestructible and you can just keep repeating it. I don't think it's worth much because it's 9 casting cost for an 8/8, but it's still fun to play. Last pack. Although we will be doing another one because this paid for the box, so even the rest of it's just gravy. Just gravy. The original quote on this one is still one of my all-time favorite quotes for a card. Pacifism. For the first time in Grax's life, he had a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. Although a knitting giant that looks a lot like our buddy Roger who plays Magic with us, it's nothing to sneeze at either. I'm thrilled with the possibilities of the set. I think it's worth a buck. Ancient Brontoderm, 9/9. Just vanilla. Ralph Capson, Ship's Master. Ship's Mage, sorry. Still want to make a deck on that one. I don't know if I'll make it Pauper, though. I think I'll go old school. Evolving Wilds. It's a high spot for that. Tower of Eons. Gain 10 life. I'm sorry, that doesn't hold up. Chaos Warp. I know it's only worth about $3, but considering it's the only way Red has of getting rid of an enchantment an opponent controls, and you can use it on your own stuff to shuffle it back in if it's going to get exiled or you just want a card, not going to complain. And a Mana Weft Sliver. I'm going to have to put that in my Sliver deck, which I'm still working on and we'll have released on our set soon. Well, that's the set. The total's on the side of the screen here. Thanks for joining us on Unmasters of Magic, and my precious. I mean, see you next time on Unmasters of Magic.